only had one coffee.
I've had no coffees, that's the problem.
Oh, there's your issue then. Now, maybe we should start making coffee.
That would be good. Orange coffee.
Yeah.
OJ coffee.
Yeah.
So I'm with Adrian at the Orange booth at NAMM 2014. Got a couple of new models which were announced this morning, and we're going to get an early glimpse at them, which is cool. So Adrian, can you talk us through the Dual Dark 100 and the Dual Dark 50?
Yeah, well, we had a lot of requests for a Dual Dark Terror. So I thought, well, why do a Terror? Let's just do a Dual Dark 50 and a Dual Dark 100. So we've got the Dark Terror channel on both. Obviously, the preamp's the same on both. So we've got 2 4-stage channels on this amp, yeah, which is quite a lot of laying out to do to get that right. This channel is a new voicing, so it's a new voicing for Orange. It's voiced, the EQ is very different to that of a Rockaverb or an OR100,
right?
You know, which are getting different from each other, but this is different again. But it's still got Orange flavours to it, you know.
So what's different about it?
It's the EQ.
In terms
the
of
amount of whatever you've got and where everything is in the frequency response.
So is it still British sounding amp?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah, definitely British sounding amp, but it is voiced more for the gentleman of the fuller figure.
Right.
You know. So we got the foot switch attenuator on there.
Yeah.
So it's laid out so that anyone that's familiar with a Thunderbird, Orange Thunderbird 200 or Thunderbird 50, will be able to go straight to this and go, oh yeah, I think I can work out what's going on here, you know, and you know, with the channel B being there and the A. Obviously you don't have the reverb, but a lot of people use those kind of amps. The last thing they want, they're playing stadiums or big places, big halls.
Yeah.
The last thing they're going to want is reverb, you know. It's normally, you know, club gigs with like a little combo.
Yeah, sure.
Tend to be your reverb users. So I figured instead of using reverb, let's go 4 stages on each. They still clean up, obviously, and do crunch as well. You know, like the classic stuff around about 11, 12 o'clock on it on the gains. They both got the same amount of gain as each other, you know. So obviously the 100's got all the power switching that the OR100's got, like the half power, take care of the bias as well to knock the tubes close at the Class A. You've got the 2-tube, 4-tube on the back, which is taking care of the impedance in the background as well. You know, the 50 watt you've got a half power. Obviously you've only got 2 output tubes in the 50 watt, so you've just got the half power setting there. That knocks you back to about 25 watts, close at the Class A. You know, it's going to be for people who want to get power amp distortion, but don't want the rest of the band glaring at them.
Yeah, sure.
You can't actually seriously believe that we're going to let you play that loud. So it's still, I mean, it's still loud. In a bedroom, it's still 25 watts cranked. You know, your mum's going to kill you. You know, that's just the way it is. You know,
and like when we were chatting a second ago, you said you could fit any tube.
Well, yeah, I mean, all of the new 100-watt heads that we've done since the TH100 have 4 multi-turn bias pods, which have a range big enough to be able to put 6L6s, 6550s. You can even mix them.
Yeah.
You know, you just tune the tubes into the amp, so you bias it. You match them into the amp using the multi-turn bias pods, and there's a test point with on the. Obviously, it's more for technicians.
Something to like.
But it means that any tech in the world can look at that and go, "Oh, I know what's going on. I can bias this to these or these or these," and then keep the amp on the road for the customer. You know, even if they're in a territory where they can't find any L34s, you know, if they can find 6L6s, you can get the thing running. You know, and match the tubes into the amp. You know.
Yeah, great. Can we hear it in action?
Yeah,
That's what everyone at home probably wants to hear right now.
Yeah, I mean, how much headroom you got on that?
I can deal with that, I think.
I mean, I'm only at bedroom level at the moment.
That should be fine.
Oh, that'll be all right.
Yeah, so switch standby on. That's channel A on about EQ in the middle, really. So that's the play.
when you're going through the heavy gain sounds, still a huge range of versatility. It sounds like
Yeah, you
between
can do
both
classic
channels.
crunch on it as well, you know.
I don't know how well you're hearing that at home, but what you started on sounded like classic Orange.
About 11 o'clock, it's good for, we pull the attenuator in and crank the channel. Do the classic stuff. Either channel will do that.
With the attenuator and the two different
They'll
channels
just do it differently.
voiced the way they are. Yeah, it seems like the kind of amp for someone who just wants a guitar, a lead, an
Yeah, I mean, they'll
amplifier,
do it
no
differently.
pedals.
Channel A will do a similar thing, like. Switch it to half. 25 watts. And then 50.
That
Kind of
sounds
sounds like an old
great.
amp. So they still do the old amp thing, you know.
Yeah.
Where if you crank the volume, you know, and bring the gain down, they'll still get that kind of springiness, that kind of,
Yeah.
which old amps do, you know. They still got chokes in them. Like we're probably there's less and less people using chokes now, but they don't seem to be. You won't get the same response without a choke. You take the choke out of an amp, you know, it won't use a resistor, it'll respond differently.
How long is this in development then? How long have you been pushing it?
It's a funny story. We had a radio tower across from the HQ, and it was causing all sorts of weird craziness.
Really?
and it's me trying to fight this weird craziness, only to realise that every amp I put on my bench did it if I tipped it up this way.
Right.
So yeah, so that cost me a month.
Really?
Yeah, fucking around trying to get that shit sorted out. I was trying to fix something that wasn't there.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, they turned out they were good to go anyway. You know, I moved it onto my colleague's bench, tipped it up that way, and it was absolutely fine. So it was just obviously I got a radio signal path where I design amps, which I guess ups the ante. Means I've got to keep them super stable.
You didn't think about going out in the dead of the night with a pair of pliers then and doing something to the radio tower?
No, I didn't know it existed.
Oh, really?
Until I spoke to someone about it.
Right.
Because I figured there was an issue with interference and stuff. But yeah. So yeah, well, I guess it's good because I got it as quiet as I could in that situation. So you know, I guess it's a good test for the real world use, as it were.
So when's the amp going to be available to the public?
End of March, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. By the time they get something built, the factory gets something built, ready to ship.
All right, great. Well, Adrian, thanks for talking to us.
Cool, no problem.
And for more videos from...
We've also got this new for the show. Have you seen this?
Is it the OB1K?
The OB1K.
I got the press release this morning.
Orange base, 1,000 watts.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, that's what that stands for. So what we got here is it's solid state bass amp. It's all analog. The preamp's all analog. Yeah. The output stage is a Class D, a really high-end Class D module. Yeah. So what we've got is this is basically a clean 1,000 watt, straight up, active EQ bass amp. And then we've got this, which is blend and gain for like harmonics. So there's a new icon there. We got like the coffee blender.
Yeah.
You know.
I like that.
So if I plug that in, you'll see what that does. And that's this part of the circuit it adds harmonics to what you got set up here, and you can turn this off with a foot switch as well. So if you feel that the chorus of the song you're playing just needs that extra pizzazz. You know, you can kind of dial it. You can just foot switch it in. Let's see if we're good. There's a stall. Is there a stall?
Go,
Ah, that's it. Yeah.
At your service.
Yeah. Right, so you got like clean. This is basic clean. Bring the blend in with it with no gain. With the EQ as well. The EQ affects this as well. So, you know, if you just want to kick, if you want to go from this to with a foot switch, you can. You know, or I like it clean actually. I like it clean with the blend in, but no gain. So it's. That sound myself, but that's just me. You know, you might have someone else might like it different.
Yeah, it seems very much like a bass amp aimed at someone who wants to play rock and roll and punk.
Well, yeah, but how many are there? Most of them are people who want to sound like a trombone. You know, they've got like 8 strings or 6 strings. Like they must have like a kind of like a giddy sort of thing that they're playing this thing and it's got all these strings and they don't seem like any real bottom or top. It's all trombone sound. They're trying to, maybe they should have taken up the trombone, but anyway. So yeah, it's for people that go, what can I do with this? Well, you can still get that. So if you bring the mid in, run it clean, you can get that trombone thing a bit, you know, as much as I'd allow it to.
Proper orange.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of, but there's a lot of people using that growl. Growl has always been, you know, there's certain bass players that like growl, you know. So it's aimed at that.
Nice.
And it's simple as well, and sort of functional. Like you can foot switch that, and it's like, oh, cool. Do you know?
All right, great. Well, thanks for showing us that as well.
It saves you using 2 amps to do that, because you know some bass players use a guitar amp. As well. You got the guy from Cheap Trick over there on poster there. You know, he's got like Rockwell 100 for his dirty, you know, and then he's got 8200 for his clean.
Is he going to?
He hasn't seen this yet. He hasn't seen this yet.
Is there an appointment to show him that?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We've got a few artists going to be stopping by. Yeah.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah.
So, well,
that's what's new for the show.
If you're at NAMM, coming onto the Orange booth, you might see some artist action going on.
Shake.
Yeah, it was pretty loud in here, but both of those sounded great, and thanks for showing us.
Cool.
And sonicstate.com for more videos from all the guitar companies showing stuff at NAMM. Thanks.